Yeah, what's up, you guys? I'm back, and I want to tell you, I want to do a video real quick. This was a request from one of my clanmates. She asked me if I could do a video for giving a guide how you can get to Champion Leagues. So, you guys, I came up with this new idea. Maybe it's these are 10 basic things that you would have to use or do in order to become champions. So here it is, you guys. I'm going to give you 10 things that you would need in order to get to Champion Leagues. Now, if you could find a way around these, then my hat goes off to you, because these things I feel are pretty essential to getting into Champions Leagues. So let me break it down for you guys. I have these 10 commandments that I'm doing, and let me get to the first one and show you guys what exactly you need in order to get to Champion Leagues. So let's go with commandment number 1. In order to get to Champion Leagues, you're going to need to max out your troops. Now, I have about 5 characters in the game that I feel are the most important for you to max out. And they would be witches, archers, wizards, wall breakers, and golems. Now, you could probably get around that, by having a lower level barbarian. If you're going to go Hog Rider, you're going to have to get him up. But this is basically my method of doing it. Just going for 50% wins. And these are the troops that I'm using. So definitely maxing out your troops would be a big priority in getting to Champion Leagues. And let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Have a good attack plan. Now, again, I said that I'm using 50% tactics, and that would be my recommendation, to go for 50% victories. And you know what? When you find bases that only have 14 trophies as the highest amount, you're gonna get 4 or 5 trophies just from getting at 50%. So it's a good thing just to build up small. Because it's just 2 battles and you already got 10 trophies. That's my recommendation. And also a good attack plan. You have to form a team that you feel is good enough for attacking players at your level, and even higher. And I feel if you're gonna go with Hog Riders, you could do that up until, I believe it's Master 2. Master 2 is around the level I saw where you're going to start fighting people that are Town Hall 10s, and they have Infernal Towers, and they're usually set to multi, and they just destroy your Hog Riders. So around, Master 2, Master 1, and Champion Leagues, I don't feel Hog Riders are that good anymore. Some people can pull it off, but it's really difficult. So number 2, you guys, have a good attack plan. Know what kind of troops work for you. My method might not work for you, and you might be able to come up with your own strategy of players or troops that you could use that are better at getting a victory for you. And that leaves us with number 3, have a good defense plan. Now, I believe it's Master 3. Master 3 is when you'll notice that every time you go offline, you'll get attacked right away. So it always is a good idea to have a base layout that will keep enemies from getting 2 stars. 2 stars is basically what you want. You don't want players getting 2 stars off you. If you can manage somehow to have a good enough base design so that they can't get to your town hall, that's fine. That's usually why people throw all the stuff outside, so that the weapons can clean them up so that they can't get to that town hall. And of course, up until about Master 3, people are still farming around there. So you should have some easy victories. But just having a good defense is always a good thing, because you will get attacked very fast when you're going up the trophy levels. And that leaves us with number 4. Max out your clan castle. Now, why is having a clan castle important? Well, that's because your clan castle is for 2 things. When you're on defense, if you center your clan castle in your base correctly so that they can't pull your troops out, those usually distract the enemies if they get inside. and your weapons can pretty much clean them up. And also when you're on the attack, if you can fit a golem or heavier characters in there, that's always a good thing if you have a good clan and they donate. So it's always a good thing to have a clan castle to back you up. And you know, a lot of people use clan castles against heroes, and you know, usually having 2 witches in there is a good thing. So it's a must to have a good clan castle. Level 5, I recommend. Alright, and so number 5, max out your army camps. Usually you will fight a lot of people to where you only get 49%. And just having one extra character, you know, one extra archer would have been, you know, the difference in making it or in getting the victory or losing. So you want to have as much troops as possible when you're attacking people. So you got to max out your army camps. That's always a good thing. Number 6, have at least 5 spells. Now, I can't stress this enough how important spells are in the game. They're usually the turning points. Depending on if you lose or win, if you watch the replays, you'll notice that it could have been because of a misplaced spell or the timing of when you're putting your spells down. That's usually why you will lose a victory, is because of spells. And what types of spells are also important. So I would recommend using lightnings, rage spells, and freeze spells. Those 3 things. You could use jump spells depending on what types of troops you're using, but going with the default method that I'm setting up for you guys, I would say those are the most majority of players use: lightning, freeze, and rage spells. So, you know, maxing out those and having those types of spells are usually the default of what players use. And let's go on to number 7. Have at least level 10 heroes. Now, the heroes are usually the anchors in your team, and I've noticed that if you have level 10 heroes, that's good enough, I feel, to make it to Champion Leagues. Anything lower and you'll find yourself losing because your king probably wasn't strong enough to hit the town hall or hit the building before he was taken out. So I've just noticed that level 10 heroes are usually the minimum, I would say, of using. You could probably have, if you're lucky, you could probably come up with a team, you know, that won't require using heroes. But usually on defense, I would say, you know, a level 10 queen is really good. So that's just my recommendation. Having level 10 heroes if you're going to Champion Leagues. That's my minimum. And that goes with leaves us for number 8. Number 8, go for weaker players. Now, again, this deals with the trophies that you see when you come across people that only have like 10 or 14 trophies. I would still say go for those, because even when you go for bases that look like you could win, you might lose. It's always unpredictable how your units are gonna move, unless you know exactly how your characters are, how they maneuver. Is very unpredictable. Even on some bases you think you could win. And so this is just the quick method of getting up fast. I would say going for weaker players is always the best thing, especially when you get to even Master 1 or even in Champion Leagues. You can still fight players that are in a lower level, like in Master 3, you know. So I would say go for weaker players just to guarantee a victory. And usually the weaker players come on during the day. At nighttime, like I'm in California time right now, so around midnight, you know, around those times, usually all the bases have been attacked already, and the only ones left are the bases that no one wants to attack because they're too difficult. So a good time to get on when players are out of their shield is around, you know, the mornings, I would say, to afternoons. Those are good times for you to get in and to engage in players and engage in battles. So that's always a good default step to take. Go for weaker players, and you will come across a lot of those during those hours. Number 9, take out the clan castle troops and enemy heroes if it's accessible. Now, skipping through bases, you will find a lot of players that leave their clan castles in an easy position for you to get to. And their heroes too. They'll have the heroes walking around the outside. So it's always a good idea to pull clan castle troops and heroes so that you can take them out and you won't have to worry about those. I might be doing a video later of how to take out clan castle troops and heroes very easily. And even if they're maxed out, you know, you could even fight level 40 heroes, you know, and take them out with just witches or with just barbarians and archers. So I might do that in another video, but you can see I'm doing my method here of just taking them out by pulling them and leading them into a corner so that they're away from weapons. You could take them out and you won't have to worry about them, and they won't get in your way when you're getting the 50% victory, if that's the strategy you're going for, that I recommend. So there's always a must. Make sure you take out those heroes. And that leaves us with number 10. Learn when to fight and when to pass. Again, only going for weaker bases is my recommendation. But you guys, you will come across a lot of bases where, I don't know how to say this, but you're gonna come across a lot of bases where you're gonna try and think to yourself, okay, this is good enough, I'll just take this, you know. But it's always better to get that extra, just use those extra 5 skips, whatever it takes, to get to the base that has no heroes or that has, you know, that has already been attacked, and you don't have to worry about the clan castle troops in there. Or, you know, you might even find bases with no elixir in their expos. Always go for those easy wins, because your goal here is just to get to Champions League. You're not trying to prove anything. If you are, you know, by all means go for it. But usually in those cases, you'll end up losing and hating yourself for not just, you know, trying to get something easier. There's no shame in doing that, I feel. So this is just an easy method for you guys to follow. 10 basic commandments, these basic steps to getting the Champions League. I feel these are the minimum things you would need. You could probably get to Champions Leagues on a level Town Hall 9, you know, without Town Hall 10. But it might be a little bit more difficult. And I feel these basic things are things you will be needing to getting the Champions League. But even these small things right here could take a while for you to get. I understand that, but you guys, these are my requirements that you guys could follow. And I will be posting another video hopefully this week showing you how the video I did when I was in San Francisco at the Supercell meetup when I got the Champions League. And